Welcome back to the YouTube channel, guys. It's been a while since you've seen anything from us at all. It's because we've been hard at work. We've been pushing out restorations, trying to get on top of things here, which is always good, a lot going on. But we've got something else for you. Now, times are changing, and it's a hard thing. It's a bitter pill to swallow. And we feel that we have to adapt and we have to look at what's next. And sometimes that's not easy, but it doesn't mean to say it can't be cool. Now, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be very polarizing. We've got something cool in the works, something that a lot of you might not expect, some of you might. But I think we've bought the biggest piece of shit that we could find on Facebook Marketplace for $500. Now, it's one of those bikes it's gonna be the next thing, right? It's gonna be, I believe anyway, it's gonna be the next thing. Now, when we look at this thing, when I show you what we've got, you're gonna be surprised. You're going to roll your eyes. Some of you are going to get into it, some of you are not. Real motocross fans will get it, because what we're about to talk about is probably the most polarizing and definitive change in our sport to date. And I think you may have figured out what it is now. Like I said, we're about motocross. Motocross isn't electric. I know that much. Hence, the passion that we have for what we do. Now, some of you guys don't get it, but like I said, the true motocross fans will. Now, let's have a look at what the local crackhead coughed up for $500. Yes, you guys guessed it. We have bought a 2006 KX450F. Now, this bike is the bike that James made famous, that shape, that JS7 looking bike. As you can see, like all good 20-year-old, well, it's 19 years old, sorry, 454 strokes or 250s. It has no barrel on it, no head, no chain, and it has what looks to be an early 80s YZ drum brake wheel that's just floating in the KYB front end there. So we've got our work cut out for us. Now, like I said earlier, a lot of you guys are like, oh, this is ridiculous, it's not motocross. Real motocross fans know that this is part of our sport. We should all be ganging up on electrics, just quietly. So, we are going to pull this thing apart. We're going to do a little experiment. We're going to see what's actually involved in restoring this bike. Now, I'm a massive believer in, regardless of what you think, this was once a $10,000+ motorcycle that's just been left, abandoned, destroyed, treated like shit. We're going to try and bring it back. We're going to do some cool stuff with it. We're going to try and get we've got some CAD drawings for some magnesium triple clamps, the KHI style ones that you would have seen on Stu's 06 KX450F. By no means are we going to do a replica when it comes to a race bike replica. It'll look aesthetically like it, but we're not going to go into the nitty gritty of finding all the race bits and pieces, suspension, because I don't have the financial horsepower for that all the time. So what we are going to do though is we're going to try and add some styling cues, like I said, some cool stuff, little bit. We're going to make our stuff, right? We're not just going to buy it. We're not just going to look for it. We're going to make our cool stuff. So we're going to make magnesium billet triple clamps, magnesium brake hangers, and whatever other cool bits and pieces we can come up with along the way, because that's the thing. These aren't actually too complicated to restore if you're buying all the parts new, but when you got to make stuff, that's where the real cool stuff comes into it. And I think this sort of opens up a lot of those opportunities and a lot of interesting things that we can do to this bike to make it just that little bit cooler. And we may have the man himself, Pruddy, wants to throw some whips on it, so hopefully we can get it down to Ride Park when it is done, and get him on the bike, because it is cool. It is the next generation of bikes. And that's one thing a lot of you guys have got to realize is it is changing. This is 19 years old. 19 years old. You can race this bike in vintage motocross next year. Now, some of you guys will kill your toes, oh, it's not real motocross, it's not vintage, wet four strokes, whatever, they sound like shit. Yeah, mint. That's thumbs up. You guys win. However, the real motocross fans will see that this is the defining moment, the single biggest change in our sport in the last piece of our modern history with it, and it is the four-stroke. They have their place and they always have. Two strokes, they're cool, I get it, I really do. I love my two strokes, my CR500. I ride every second week almost, sometimes once a week. Not many people can say that. Now, we're going to go through, we're going to start pulling this thing apart today. We're going to see what sort of goodies it pops up. Okay guys, as you can see, it's not really that exciting. As we're pulling this thing down, we're just pretty much getting as much stuff off it as we can. Not that there was actually much stuff on it to begin with, mind you. We're getting all the bolts that are unique to the bike, chassis bolts, engine mounts, big stuff. All of the sort of M6, M8s, they're all going in the bin because we'll just replace them. Forks are going to come out. Triple clamps, we're going to do a set of magnesium KHI triple clamps on this one. So we're going to make them ourselves. Well, someone that's far more talented than myself is going to do it. So yeah, like I said, the strip down process is just seeing what we've got, what we can work with, and pretty much what we need to find. Like, we know we've got to find a lot of stuff for this bike, which makes it, you know, difficult. It's going to add more expense to it. This bike has been in pretty poor shape, but we're just triaging everything really. We're just seeing what's possible, what's needed, what we've got, all that sort of stuff. There's nothing super exciting about a strip down. It's the worst part of the job next to swing arm restoration, because it is dirty, it's filthy, everything's stuffed, and you're not actually getting anywhere. You're going backwards to go forwards, if that makes sense. But like I said, this thing's going to be super cool. We're pulling it apart. We're going to get it to a point where it's really nice. We're going to get all this stuff, you know, cleaned up, hydroblasted, Cerakoted, rebuilt. Like I say, it gets pretty messy. There's shit everywhere, but it is part of it, right? So we're quickly working through it. We're going to have a look at the next episode. We're going to have a lot of these chassis bolts zinc plated. We're going to hook into the swing arm next, get the frame hydroblasted, and hopefully we can really get this thing starting to come together.